Hello everybody, finally back with a new video. I know it's been a long time since I put some stuff up. One of the things that I promised to do a while back was to demo and explain with the settings the patch sound I've been demoing most of my new bass stuff with, probably the last 7, 8, 9 videos. And it happens to be a really cheap way to get a great tone. So we have a Squire vintage modified jazz. This used to be the only vintage modified jazz. I think now it's a 70s mid vintage modified jazz. I'm not sure what they decided to call this. I know there's a rosewood model as well. This is all stock. It's got brand new strings. These are Chinese strings. Check out some other videos. They're called Alice bass strings. You can get them on Reverb. Again, $7. Not bad. I gotta tell you, these are the best bass strings ever. They don't last as long as some. You kind of get what you pay for, but for $7, I wouldn't complain. Anyhow, I'm gonna go ahead and demo what is pretty much just the bass's tone itself. Again, this is all stock, the Seymour Duncan designed pickups, etc. So this is essentially the sound of the bass itself. I've actually got it in this unit. I had to bump the volume up so it wouldn't be so crazy. Difference between this and the patch I'm going to show you guys. So this is the bass itself. So not a whole lot to like about that, really. It's just very bland. So here. Alright, so really nice, bright sound, very kind of... Alright, so what I'm using here is a Zoom G1x on. I said you could get this tone for $60. If you go and you research this, you'll find these are $80. That's because there's a lower model, a G1x, that is exactly the same device, can get exactly the same tones, just doesn't have an additional expression pedal, so $20 cheaper. So I will show you the exact settings that I have here for the patch. I'll just roll them across the screen. You can stop at any point in time and check them out. So if you have one of these, you can create your own patch based on it. However, the gist of this, which should be applicable to other processors, first and foremost, I'm actually trying to get almost as much gain as possible without actual overdrive. Actually, this patch with an active bass or a very high output bass will go into the overdrive. And if I were to say plug a Les Paul copy into this, it's distorted as can be. So what I'm looking for in the bass for this sort of sound is to get it on the ragged edge so that it's just about to distort. And it does a pretty good job with this bass. So to do that, of course, you're going to use a Mesa Boogie rectifier amp sim. What I've done is I've turned there's a tube setting, which is kind of like a second drive. That's up really high, but the overdrive's pretty low. So if you have some other sort of amp sim pedal combo, effects processor, plugins, whatever, take a high gain amp with very low gain. Then from there, it's going into an amp cabinet sim. This unit doesn't have any bass cabs. It's a guitar cabinet sim. So put a ton of compression on it, because that's one of the things that makes bass sound good under a lot of circumstances, especially slap. And then in the end, I'm adding an exciter to try to get back some of the lows that the amp really doesn't have, and then also to add some sparkle to the high end. So kind of a strange way to go about it, but you know, the end result is great. You know. Sounds really great for those sorts of things that you know, need to dig in on. And of course, since this is a Mesa Boogie sim, if you need to get the grit that goes with that, it's available 1,000-fold because it's a Mesa Boogie rectifier amp. So you can take distortion to the next level with this patch if you wanted to. Maybe I'll demo that at some other point. But yeah, so hopefully at this point you've seen the settings for the patch. Again, you know, these little boxes are rock. They're amazing. Check out some of my other videos, some of the guitar videos even. They're really great sounding. It's one of the cheapest amp modelers out there, especially that models speaker combos as well. And you know, you can buy this exact one here for 80 bucks because it's got the Expression Pedal G1x on, or you can buy a G1x for 60. It's around NAMM time right now, so I'm really curious to see. These things have been around like 3 years. They've actually jacked the price up. So I'm curious to see if they're going to finally come out with something new. Any of the recent things have really just kind of built upon this a little bit. And in this price point, there is just nothing that touches this thing. But again, you know, just a really cool patch that you know, is bright and tight and punchy. And you know, you could add a lot of amp, you know, bass to it to make it really rumble, or you know, put it through another sim or something. But overall, you know, just a great tone. You know, you can check out some of my previous videos. I've got it going through a Carvin LB75 bass 5-string. I've got it going through a G&L L2500. It's the import series G&L. Through an 80s Ibanez. It sounds amazing, and it doesn't even sound like the same patch on that bass. So again, just wanted to fulfill a promise here. I told someone I was going to show them what these settings were. So again, if you don't have one of these, you know, no problem. You can probably duplicate this with just about any sort of amp modeling setup, I would think. And to prove that, at some point, I've got an XFX Ultra. Yes, kind of cheap. It's a little more expensive. But I'm going to try exactly the same thing and see if I can come up with about the same patch using its built-in amp sims. All right, till next time.